So let's look at the Dow, because the Dow tells us a lot. The Dow tells us an important thing, right? What does the Dow tell us? It says this is what the overall index on the market is, right? So we just went through how many weeks in a row? We were at 46,500 back on triple witching on September 19th. And then we had the advancement in the Dow that we just saw on Friday. We were up to 47,049. And now, after this stunt, we look at where we were to start the day on when we opened for trading on Friday morning. We were at 46,355 or 358 on Thursday night, and we opened at 46,552. So in overnight trading on Thursday into Friday, we were up 180 points. And then by the time we got to our peak on Friday morning, we were at 46,627. That was the peak. And we closed at 45,479. So 1,150 points in the Dow in one day. We look at that picture on Friday and that massive drop off. And we think about where we were in the Dow the last time we saw 45,479. When was that? When was the last time we saw 45,479? Last time we saw 45,479. So we know that there was a period of time at the end of August where that was relevant. The pricing was relevant right around then. We think about as we get into the month of September. I'm trying to think if we ever had a period in September where we were at. Yeah, we were there September 8th. So just no longer than a month ago, we were at this level. So will we come back from this? Yes, we will come back from this. We look about the single day, though. The single day, the Dow, the most movement we've seen in the Dow, I reported that into the chat earlier. This was the largest day of downward movement that we've had since the Liberation Day announcement. That was the largest single day downward movement we've seen in a long time. How much of that was manipulated? Well, we're going to have to watch and see as we move forward, right? But the whole point of why I put those pictures there to illustrate the volume on our profit options is so that everybody can see the real truth. Everybody can see the real truth. And then when you see that massive spike in volume at the end of the day, and you see the institutions reacting to what they had there, the institutions are buying for what reason? Because they realized that the stock is a great price at that point, right? That's why the institutions are buying. And from that point, they want to raise the value of their hedge fund. They want to raise the value of their ETF. And that's exactly what they're doing. So we're all the way back to 45,479. So now the question is, how robust is this recovery and how quickly does it come as it relates to the Dow? How quickly do we get back to the 46.5 level? How quickly do we get back to test the 47,000 upper boundary? Now, we know this can occur. We just watched 1,100 points zip off in the matter of a day. We're reminded of when the largest recovery period was. We think back to that April 8th and April 9th from that massive downfall. And April 8th and April 9th was a 1,700 point recovery. That also happened to span a Monday and a Tuesday. My guess is we're going to probably see something similar to that. Now, I hope that's exactly what we see, because it would automatically make life in this community much happier and much brighter. And all of that brilliant mitigation that was done is going to prove to be massively important, and it should create a massive amount of market wins. Now, all of these things are very important that we have an opportunity going forward to recognize that. But it's important that we pay attention as we move forward. So remember, Monday is going to be a day of trading, and it's going to be a day of correction. But the day of correction is going to be limited to what the funds are that are in the actual market. There won't be any bank investment happening. So it is relatively going to feel like it's half a recovery. I doubt seriously we'll be able to see a full recovery. But if we do, then Tuesday might be epic. So we're just going to have to watch and see how it plays out. But I would expect it to be a 2-day thing, only because of the amount of pullback that we've seen.